Bill Moyers, believe it or not.
I'm Bill Moyers. I'm Bill Moyers. Good evening. I'm Bill Moyers.
When you really see what life is, it's a lot of protoplasm with an urge to reproduce and continue in being.
Not true. That's not true.
How did you manage to sit there day after day and hear these stories of terrible things that people had been doing?
The scandal, what went on?
Ronald Reagan.
Who knew? And who was actually responsible?
We're conducting a vast toxicologic experiment, and we're using our children as the experimental animals.
We have to rely on the media to at least analyze what the corporations are doing, and the media don't do that. How do we level the playing field?
I don't know.
Jack Welch wants the Hudson cleaner. Very much so wants the Hudson cleaner. I know how to clean it.
But if you put this to a vote, Jack...
I'd lose.
Why does a man fight? What keeps you from running away?
If you did run, it wouldn't tell much for you, would it?
If the parent is 17 and 18, uneducated, unmotivated, fooling around, wandering around, what's the child gonna learn? Who's to teach him? When you learn something, you was taught by your parents. It was reinforced by school and your neighbors, but it was taught by your parents. See, I'm not even talking about racism. Maybe later on we'll get back to that. But I think we are destroying ourselves.
From our studios in New York, Bill Moyers.
Good evening, and welcome to A Work in Progress.
I am an American, but I have to become an American to everybody else.
Why?
All the time.
Why?
I don't know. You tell me. You're the white guy.
It becomes irrelevant in a way, what I believe. You become the servant of your characters. And if your characters are religious, you have to deal with God.
But wait a minute, 100% dyed-in-the-wool atheists saying you have to invoke the name of God to get to a spiritual life?
Yes, atheists are obsessed with God, you may have noticed.
Where's our chorus today?
Where's our chorus today? It's in me, man. It's in you. It's in the people. It's in the common people, you know, that are telling these stories. I mean, I feel like the leaders come and go, but it's the stories that will continue.
What you're saying is I belong to this church that institutionally condemns me.
Yes. It is as much my church as it is the Pope's church. And I never forget that. I have the difficulty
The Pope doesn't agree with you.
Well,
does he?
I think he would see himself as a child of God, no greater and no more special than I am.
But wouldn't he see you as a sinner?
Yes, as I see him.
The people giving money thought they had to give money to get close to Tom DeLay.
As a Reformed Presbyterian theologian, I believe that God controls all things.
Hurricane Katrina?
Yes.
God's will?
Yes. Yeah, and I'm shocked at those Christians who would say otherwise.
Every Memorial Day, I think about what these men did and what we owe them. They didn't go through hell so Kenny Boyle could betray his investors and workers at Enron, or for a political system built on legal bribery. It wasn't for corporate tax havens in Bermuda, or an economic system driven by the law of the jungle, or so that a handful of buccaneers could turn the public airwaves into private sewers. I was never called on to do what soldiers do. I'll never know if I might have had their courage. But a journalist can help keep the record straight on their behalf. They thought democracy was worth fighting for, even dying for. The least we can do is make democracy worthy of them.